What's going on, guys? Evan the Dark Souls enthusiast here, bringing another gameplay commentary for Dark Souls on the Xbox 360. This is another installment of my Ellie series, but this is the second set of Darkmoon invasions I talked about. You're going to see a plethora of invasions here from the Painted World. Unfortunately, most of them are against the same person. I kept invading Fireproof Medic, which wasn't intentional, or he kept invading me later in the video, which also isn't intentional. It's just kind of how it happens. But he's not the only guy I invade. I invade a couple other people too, so I figured I'd go ahead and share them with you. These matches did bring me to my 10 reprisals, which is all I really needed, so that ended that sequence of invasions. We'll be back to the invasion series once I have finished out my character. And then I get lag stabbed there. Not that I'm complaining, that's part of the game. It happens to me as well, and I've done it to others, but it's always frustrating when it happens to you. Because the game's not on a dedicated server, when you sprint towards someone or they sprint towards you with reckless disregard for themselves, you can probably be assured they're trying to lag stab you, teleport behind you and stab you, or it's always hard to sell. Obliviator here is actually one of my friends. We used to PvP in the Force together, and we're still in touch and all that. We play together sometimes. I invade him, and he's a friend, so this is sort of a friendly, like, let's goof around match. He's significantly more geared than me and a significantly better PvPer at this point, but I'm getting better. My Dark Wraith invasions, which after I finish with my Darkmoon invasions, my Dark Wraith invasions are better, more skillful. I'm trying to stay away from backstabbing, so if you're ever wondering, like, man, you're pretty newbie, why aren't you backstabbing? It's not because I'm that awful at backstabbing, it's that I'm not really a huge fan of backstabbing, so I'm, trying to not. Unfortunately, it takes me a while to build characters on Dark Souls. I don't sort of cheat and use the bottomless item glitch to transfer items between characters, and I don't have white phantoms that want to power level me. So, I guess my point on that one is... See, he just rolled right through Epica. My point is, it's hard for me to bring a variety of different weapons in gameplay because I tend to build my character builds like very tightly. Obliviator loves to do lag stabs, so whenever he walks forward, I feel obligated to back up. But sorry, I keep getting distracted by my own duel. I think my point is that I'm gonna bring a lot of PvP to the channel when I can. It's just a lot of it might be with the same character builds because I can't really like. So that was a pretty close match there. He was using his Falchion. Pretty close, but in the end, he caught me down. He has probably a better character. He's got his finalized armor set. I'm just wearing crap armor that I, put on just to equip something, but no excuse. He outplayed me, and he was kind of pulling his punches there as a favor to me, and then that's okay. I'm invading a friend, so. Now here's this Fireproof Medic guy I talked about. You're going to see a lot of matches against this guy, which I'm going to try to explain what goes wrong, why I can't win, etc. One problem is, right off the bat, he's using the Moonlight Greatsword, which, in my opinion, is the best weapon for a caster in PvP, and I have a character, that'll be wearing that too, and I'll be uploading my own Moonlight Blade, Great Moonlight Sword PvP action. So of course he's got the Homing's Crystal Mass and all that stuff. Pretty normal affair for casters. Summon crystal masses and swing with your Moonlight Sword. I'm still using my Lightning Shoulder, which isn't ideal against this kind of a character because of the fact that it's got a lot of reach on that sword, and plus it's R2 attacks, it's hard attacks, throw energy blasts. In all the matches I lose here, I have no excuse for losing because he's not using a Dreadful Drain Ring. He is, however, a healer, which I think is pretty cheap, chugger, but it's fine, it happens. I need to backstab there and he chugs, but most of these matches, if he couldn't heal that way, I would have won, but unfortunately, I'm invading him. This is kind of, I think, a lousy practice, and I try not to do it, is when you sit around and hope someone will invade you, but you reinforce your bonfire so you have a ton of flasks, then you just blast through fights. Like, my Lightning Shield is chipping him through his shield over and over, but unfortunately, I just can't, I can't beat all the heals he has, and I have heals too in the form of miracles, but at least I actually have wasted attunement slots and stuff like that, and I try to sneak past him there, and I don't roll because I'm bad, and he blows me out. Pretty decent duel, though. If he hadn't been flasking, I'm pretty sure I would have won, but flasking's part of the game, and I need to get better at timing my backstabs. Because I'm not trying to fish for backstabs, I'm not being aggressive enough. That's my big problem, is I'm not aggressive in my backstabs, and backstabs are a huge part of PvP. They're the #1 way to kill somebody, and really PvP in this game has sort of degenerated to a backstab fest, and that's unfortunate. I'm trying not to be part of the problem, but when people are chugging flasks, really all you can do is backstab them. Now this guy turns out to be AFK, and I'm not going to use... My only options here are to kill him or use my black separation crystal in order to leave the world without a fight, but unfortunately I'm just going to go ahead and kill him. It's not the right thing to do, but then again, going AFK while in human form by the bonfire is also probably not a good idea. So, plus I needed my reprisal there for my covenant, so selfish greed there kicking in and I take him down. This character is only going to use an S-Stock, which actually has long reach and a really high backstab modifier, so trying not to backstab, probably not a good idea for this character. And I'm just experimenting with my equipment loadout here. I put on the Silver Nightshield. The Crown of Dusk is risky here because he's a caster, which this thing makes me take like 30% extra magic from damage the Crown of Dusk does, so I have to be really careful not to get hit by magic because it'll blow me out. And of course, this guy's camping on top of the stairs and not letting me through, and my spear can't get past that stupid cleft. He's of course using a Moonlight sword, and I'm afraid he'll start R2ing me the minute I come up the steps, but it looks like he's going to let me up, which is polite. And then he does throw his hard swing for his magical blast. The Moonlight sword has got to be the coolest sword in the game, with 2 different R2 attacks to throw blasts. They chip through your shield too, so that weapon's pure magic damage, which means even if you block it, unless you're using a crest shield, you'll still take a fairly significant amount of damage just from the magical damage. This guy, I think, is doing his usual crap strategy, which is just to camp by the freaking stairs and not let me past. So I rasp him and get him. Skillless way to win, and it really took me no effort, but it is his fault for walking into my Wrath radius and not being ready to back out. Unfortunately, one Wrath hit him and he didn't block or anything, so he just got pushed back. Then he got Wrathed again and again, and he died. If you're going to camp me on the stairs like that, once again, no manners. My duels with Fireproof Medic are not remotely manner at all, and I included them just to show, you know, how invasions work when no one's being, I guess, a nice guy. Like, everyone's doing everything they can, although he seems pretty lousy at backstabs too, and he doesn't have his Darkwood Grain Ring, so who has the better equipment is a tough discussion. I think he's probably a higher soul level, and I think he has the flasks. If he didn't have flasks, I would probably win every time without a whole lot of trouble, but unfortunately he is flasking, and I probably would too in his situation. No, I probably wouldn't. You see, that's something I don't do. Is I don't host games, wait for people to invade me, and then chug flasks when I'm trying to PvP. Like, that's just lame. But I guess if I get invaded when I don't want to be invaded, yeah, I'm gonna chug for sure. Of course, here you go, phantom hits. When it looks as if it hit him and it doesn't, we call that a phantom hit. That's due to server lag. See, he just tanked that and walked right through it. The Moonlight Sword actually adds a significant amount of defense. Magical defense, so my lightning spear didn't really hit stun him at all, so he walked through it with poise and magic defense and just blew me away with his Moonlight Greatsword once again. As you can see, we're doing the not manner taunt, the taunt you learn from Oswald, which is, well, that's it. Now, this is kind of funny. My buddy, Obliviator, who I was dueling earlier, is actually hanging out in the Painted World, and he wanted to get out, and he didn't know that you can't get out until you kill the boss, or at least he forgot, rather. And Fireproof Medic actually invaded him, so he summoned me as a White Phantom so I could get a little vengeance here. You'll see we're actually being manner. Obliviator isn't attacking him. It's not like a 2v1 situation. And as you can see, when this guy can't pop his flasks for an easy win, he's not very good at all. That just goes to show you how powerful the flask is in PvP. You know, the quick heals and having a lot of heals. Right now he's pretty much screwed and he knows it. Blow him off the cliff there. It's unfortunate because Obliviator can't collect his humanity, but basically what happens at that point is he knows I have a lightning shuttle, so he can't just tank hits because I can hard swing through shields, and yet again he invades us. We don't even want to mess with this guy. We're just trying to get to the area boss so he can beat him and get out of this world. This is actually convenient for me to help him out as a White Phantom, because in my previous commentaries for LA, I unfortunately lost my footage of beating Priscilla in the Painted World, which was a mistake. I at least wanted to show the boss fight, but I failed to do so, so this is going to be a chance to fight the boss too. But you'll see that Fireproof Medic realizes he can't win a 2v1 situation, even though we were going to let him 1v1 me and then Obliviator, but he didn't trust us. I even sent him a message that said, you know, 1 versus 1. He didn't didn't trust me, so he waited here by the mob of enemies, so he'd have defense. And he's, of course, spamming the Dragon Slayer's Great Bow, or at least he was earlier. Right now we're just dealing with the skeletal archers. And at the end, of course, is the giant knight that guards Priscilla with the tower shield, so Obliviator decides he'll take out the Phantom and I'll take out the Knight. Like, that's fine. I'll take the boring one. I've been fighting Fireproof Medic for quite some time. Now, of course, I can't flask to heal, so I have to be very careful. That and wearing this crown, if he hits me with his Crystal Soul Mass, I'll just die. Or Soul Spear, whatever the magic spell is. I screw up there and take a couple hits. I didn't know you couldn't shoulder through this guy's defense, but unfortunately that's how it looks. Obliviator blows out the host there with a blab. Apparently I didn't see it on the footage, sadly, but he lag stabbed him and killed him, and then I finished off the knight, healed up, and now we're going to take off Priscilla. We're trying to cut off her tail so he can get Priscilla's dagger, but we don't succeed. It's not hard to cut off. You just have to get behind her when she doesn't hostile you and take a good hit on her tail, but we didn't have the right stuff to break it off, so he unfortunately didn't get it. He'll have to pick it up on New Game Plus if he wants a Knight's Honor, and he doesn't strike me as an achievement chaser, so shout out to Obliviator for playing with me. I hope to play with you again soon. As you can see, he's using Black Knight's gear and it's doing a ton of damage. Of course, Priscilla's a fun boss fight. She's really easy. Everything she has you can block quite easily. The only thing that makes this fight even remotely challenging is the invisibility. So having 2 versus 1 makes this pretty much an easy win. While I don't get souvenirs of reprisal for doing White Phantoming, when we were going through here, Obliviator actually picked up, I think, like 2 of them off the Harpies just on random lucky drops, so I went ahead and equipped all of them. We're trying to watch the footsteps. Priscilla, of course, uses the Life Hunt Scythe, which you can acquire by using her soul. The damage is kind of underwhelming, but what is nice about it is it inflicts a ton of bleed, and if I get bleeded, I'm just going to die. Of course, there's Fireproof sending me a message. He basically tells me, you know, you're a dick, more or less, and I reply that, you know, good matches. I try not to get into verbal sparring with people on live. On Call of Duty, I've been known to blow my temper and send people some angry messages, but I try not to. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching my second set of PvP videos. More will be coming a little later. My next video will probably be additional gameplay through the main story, or through the PvE engine. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.